Hello and welcome. I had a few minutes spare to do some recording, so I figured we'd do another game of Ticket to Ride. So we've already done the 1910 Mega. I figured before we repeat anything, we really should do all of the different options. But I do want something that's going to be relatively quick because I do have class in like 40 minutes. Let's just do the very basic game, and let's make ourselves a different color. Never mind, that requires too much thought. We'll stick with being green. Alright, so the options it gives us to start with, of which we have to choose two, are Portland to Phoenix, Chicago to New Orleans, or Denver to El Paso. All of those are north-south routes that aren't the least bit near each other. So I think the best choice out of these would be to go for Portland to Phoenix and Denver to El Paso, since they're somewhat close to each other. We definitely want to go from Portland to San Francisco to LA to Phoenix to El Paso, and then up through Santa Fe to Denver. Well, I mean, I suppose we could just go from Portland all the way over to Salt Lake City to Denver, and then down to either Phoenix or El Paso, and then connect to the other one. Let's just go ahead and gain some tickets. Actually, I think that's what we're going to try for right now, so let's grab this blue ticket here. And it's a tough choice between this yellow and this red. Let's just grab a random then. There are two blues available, so let's go ahead and take those. Looks like yellow is also trying to collect blues, so let's be careful about that. We have 4, we need 2 more. Let's go ahead and grab a couple of randoms then right now. There goes our 5th blue, and our 2nd orange, which I suppose we could use for connecting Denver down to El Paso. Although I think it'd be better to go from Denver to Phoenix and then across over to El Paso, since then we have 2 points that are either at the west or east and it'd be easier to build off of when we decide to take more tickets. So looking at the situation right now, we'll just take a couple more random cards. Alright, it would be tempting to take that Portland to Salt Lake City right now, but let's go ahead and take this yellow. And then a random. Alright, so it looks like blue is building from Los Angeles. Just to make sure we don't get blocked out there, let's go ahead and take Phoenix to El Paso. Alright, let's go ahead and take that yellow. And let's take that white as well. Alright, with this blue we'll be able to to complete Portland to Salt Lake City. So we'll take that and a random card. Curses. We're not going to connect from there with the yellow cards. We'll need to try to collect reds for that. So let's go ahead and take a white right now and a random. We happen to need reds for Denver to Salt Lake City, and that's almost all there is right now. So let's just grab 2 of those. And let's go ahead and take that route before someone blocks it off. So with our 2 reds on our locomotive, we'll take Salt Lake City to Denver. Alright, there are no whites over there, otherwise I would take them, so let's just go ahead and take Portland to Salt Lake City right now. So as soon as we connect Denver to Phoenix, we will have completed both of our tickets. So let's take a couple of more random cards. There's another white and another locomotive. We can do it on our next turn. And let's go for it. And now both of our tickets are punched. You can now go from Portland to Salt Lake City to Denver to Phoenix to El Paso on the Guyliner. Alright, let's take some new tickets and see if there's anything interesting. Let's see, there's Montreal to Atlanta, which is nowhere near any of our stuff. Boston to Miami, also nowhere near any of our stuff. And Denver to Pittsburgh. Which unfortunately wouldn't be a continuous line unless we decided to go across from El Paso and then up north. Which we very well might try to do. So yeah, let's take Denver to Pittsburgh. If we can, we'll take El Paso to Oklahoma, and then go up to Kansas, over to St. Louis, and then to Pittsburgh. Maybe if we have to, detour through Chicago. Let's take a couple of random cards. Hopefully we can get some more yellows, which we did not. And let's keep that up. There's a locomotive, and a black. Let's take a few more randoms, a blue and a black. So right now we could take Pittsburgh to... oh, never mind. I was going to say we could take Pittsburgh to Chicago, but then someone beat us. Why don't we take an orange so that we can do that anyway? And then a random. And currently we could take Pittsburgh to Chicago, and then Chicago down to St. Louis easily. But let's take this yellow, and then a random card. And now we could easily get from El Paso to Oklahoma City. Alright, looks like we have enough cards to do everything else in between that and Pittsburgh. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, but we used both of our locomotives, so we no longer have the cards to get to from Chicago to Pittsburgh. So in the meantime, let's just go ahead and take Oklahoma to Kansas. Use these blues to go from Kansas to St. Louis. And then use these greens to go up to Chicago. Alright, so now we just need another orange or locomotive to go from Chicago to Pittsburgh. So let's see what we can do about that. Let's draw a few random cards. There goes a locomotive, and so now we can definitely do that. And a yellow. You know, I prefer not to waste that locomotive, so let's go ahead and take this orange card. And a random. So now we connect Chicago to Pittsburgh, and so far we've done 3 tickets. We have just one line that is one continuous track without any spur lines. So we're in a good shape right now. Purple is beating us by 2 points, but it's doubtful that they're going to have as many bonuses at the end of the game. Let's go ahead and just see what the other tickets available are. So there's Duluth to El Paso. That's doable. There's New York to Atlanta, which is unlikely. And there's Seattle to New York. To be 22 points, it would require... Oh, we have everything we need to do it. But we'll take that. Assuming no one takes the screen Pittsburgh to New York. And no one did, so we will. So you can now get all the way from Portland, all the way across the country to New York on the Skyliner. And then our next turn, we will just easily connect Portland to Seattle. And now we've picked up that extra 22 points at the end of the game. I'm tempted to say we should just keep building our line as long as we can, but at the same time, I'm so used to playing the Mega that I kind of want to gamble on more tickets, so we're going to do that. Chicago to Santa Fe, that would require a spur line. Calgary to Phoenix, that would require a total of 4 trains and wouldn't be too hard. Dallas to New York would also be a spur line. So I either need 4 of one, 3 of one, and 1 of one to do Calgary to Phoenix, so that's what we're going to go for. Especially with the current setup. We can grab 2 purples on our turn. Yep, we can still grab 2 purples on our turn to go from Vancouver to Calgary. Or better yet, if no one takes it, we can take another purple. We will take that other purple so we can go straight from Seattle to Calgary. And we'll take a random. Alright, let's go ahead and take Seattle to Calgary. And now we've finished Calgary to Phoenix. And from now you can get all the way from Calgary, cross over to Seattle, down through Portland and Salt Lake City, through the American Southwest, up through the Western South, and then up through the Old Midwest, all the way to New York, on the Skyliner. I'm still tempted to take more tickets, but it's too likely that one of these opponents will end the game on their turn. So let's just go ahead and see if we can't get enough to make this line just a little bit longer. If we grab 2 oranges right now, then on our next turn we can extend it down to Washington. And there we go. This is going to be our last turn. So let's just go ahead and go from New York down to Washington. So we've used all but 5 of our trains, and it is one long continuous line with no spurs. Of course, we completed all of our tickets. Ooh, so did Red. Good for them. But we're definitely going to get that bonus over them. Blue completed all their tickets as well. Aw, Purple only did half of theirs. And Yellow did both of theirs. It's actually a pretty good game all around then. And of course, I got the bonus for having the longest train. Alright, thank you very much for watching. As of course, I have been some guy you've never heard of, unless of course you have. Feel free to like, dislike, subscribe, comment, whatever tickles your fancy. Thank you, and please take care and have a wonderful day.